Herr Delta. You arrive as the little one said you would. Come upstairs to the ticket booth, and I will offer what I know of you.
Hello and welcome back to my Let's Challenge of BioShock 2. In the last episode we started this challenge. We gained our first life. We got the first trophy in the game, which is for completing that first little section. And now we're going to continue. We're going to continue onwards, hopefully make a bit more progress. Now, you might have noticed that I had an issue with regards to saving. And that's because for some reason the save data carries over from both BioShock 1 and 2 in this collection, which means that if you've done, if you haven't cleared out some saves from BioShock 1 because the autosave continually fills that up, if you haven't done that, that just means, well, you're going to be a bit screwed. You're not going to be able to save your game, so I had to go back and actually save it. So what we have here is
Now most who survive are like this. Splicers. They're drug addicts. Vicious animals.
So as we see, we get some, obviously we've already seen splicers before, but a little bit more sort of background. And what we're going to do is we're going to get an introduction to the hacking minigame in this version of BioShock. So here what we do is, so it's a different type of minigame. You pretty much just stop the needle at the right points. So whenever it's green, I thought I could use that tool dispenser, but maybe not. Maybe I could only use it beforehand or something. But anyway, yeah. So it means that it's slightly different in terms of hacking than it was in the original BioShock. You no longer have to do all the plumbing that you were doing there. You'll notice that the central number counts down as the needle oscillates from left to right and back again. So you do have a limited amount of time to wait. You can't just let it continually go. The other thing is that unlike in the original game, hacking is now done in real time, which means that you can't do, as you could in the previous game, which is sort of like in the middle of a firefight, you could jump up to try and hack a security camera mid-battle, and it would work. If only for a small amount of time. What should he run into? Is he running to the healing station that's here? Or no? Oh, he is. We'll just hack this.
This is Dr. Sofia Lamb. Andrew Ryan is dead.
So the extra bonuses that you get from hacking are actually very useful.
We reject the self. We reject the tyrant.
Okay, so we get a bit more propaganda from Sofia Lamb. And I think that is... So I think we're meant to be going through that way, but we will check, just do a bit more looting in here. So we got one from Andrew Ryan.
I'm told that the people grow tense and isolated in the absence of the sun. Now they clamor for a psychiatrist. Do they miss the state censor, I wonder? Wartime seizure of private assets? Or the checkup police vanishing them in the night? Regardless, this Lamb woman is said to be the foremost practitioner in her field. Fine. If she can quiet the rattling of the Great Chain's weakest links, I will leave her to it.
Okay, so we'll open the gate.
I know you.
That symbol on your hand marks you a dead man. 10 years, Subject Delta, since I watched you put a gun to your head and pull the trigger. But take heart. Out of your pain, paradise was born. I don't know how you survived, but your suffering is over now. These men will ease your burden. Please understand that like all I have done, this is an act of love.
It is Sofia Lamb. She has found you.
So, in some ways, like a callback to the bit you had in the original BioShock, where you get caught out by where Ryan comes in, shoots a bunch of slices at you. Here we get Lamb sending splices at us. We get a convenient escape route to that. Oh, don't worry, I've been searching corpses for loot. Already.
Now you know of the enemy we share, Sofia Lamb. The camera in your helmet allows me to watch through your eyes and help you to fight her.
I feel like there is something. Oh, there's an audio diary there, which we can't get without telekinesis. So we'll have to come back here once we've grabbed that. That should come up pretty soon, I think.
Careful, security cameras belong to Lamb. But if you are clever, they can be made to serve you.
Where'd you go, lover boy?
So I think we'll just let the security do its job.
Huh? What?
But what we can do is we can just pick that guy off there. Okay, so with that in mind, we will now just again continue to loot and search around this area, and we're still very much in the sort of, you know, the preliminary stages of this game, very much sort of just learning the ropes, as it were. So shouldn't be too much to worry about us. This section, the Atlantic train sort of area, is actually relatively short as well. The first really large section is the one after this. Once we actually access the train that this area is named after, and we start making progress. Okay. So with the filing cabinet searched, if we head this way, eventually we will hit. Here we go.
Father, it's me, Eleanor. I know you're awake in there. I can feel it. Mother won't be able to toy with you like that ever again. This plasmid is for you. If I'm right, you can use it now. Please, find me.
So there we see Eleanor Lamb, the little sister that we had all the way at the start.
Throw objects at foes. You can even catch grenades and throw them back.
So we now have telekinesis, the telekinesis plasmid, which is excellent. And just like in the first game, where if you wanted to practice your telekinesis, and there's a little area here where if we trigger the, if we activate the mail pneumote, then it'll start pelting things at us. Seemingly helpful. Some secure all things like that, so that's all good. We can also see some splices through there. But because we have telekinesis, we will now quickly dash back and grab that audio diary from before. So yeah, Eleanor Lamb, even though it's been 10 years, and even though we can definitely assume that she's had something to do with us miraculously awaking after shooting ourselves in the prologue.
Hello, Mr. Diary. Want to play? Actually, I'm quite busy right now, Miss Eleanor. Maybe later. Well, all right. But do you mind if I take you apart while I wait? I promise I'll put you back together.
Wait! You can't do that! No!
Wait! Eleanor!
So we see a very young Eleanor, at least, playing around with these the audio diaries that you find about the place. Okay. So we'll be above here, and because it's telekinesis, we get essentially a small introduction to it. So definitely being encouraged to use telekinesis to throw these explosive objects at the enemies down there. And it is a very good idea because it saves you ammo. It generally does a lot of damage. And telekinesis usually is also a relatively cheap plasmid in terms of Eve consumption, which is something that we really need to consider on these higher difficulties, because Eve quickly becomes the... you want to use your plasmids more and more, and Eve becomes the limiting factor in that.
There would be no Rapture without me. No city without the Atlantic Express. Ryan took his first grand tour on my flagship coach. These days, personal bathyspheres are all the rage. My rails only connect the oldest parts of Rapture now. And the city's just left me behind. Plenty of cash in the bank, though. This private vehicle craze will blow over soon.
There we have the head of the Atlantic this train system. And once more, we've got a bit of looting to do. So yeah, I think so. Obviously, they use this the idea of this train system going through Rapture as an interesting way to introduce you to a bunch of areas that you haven't had the chance to see. So they use the sort of excuse that it's these older areas of Rapture that we're finally getting the chance to go through now, but that we didn't do in the first game. And again, you see more ideas as to different characters and different you can open it this way, which just opens the way back. But different characters, different people who played their role in terms of when it came to building Rapture up to be the city that it is now. Okay, so we get a first aid kit, which we do not need at the moment, but we may well need in a little bit. Okay, so that's an Eve hypo dispenser, which is always useful.
Sofia Lamb is using the splicers against you. Most big daddies are like her slaves, guarding the little ones. But someone has awakened you.
Someone has indeed. So got one here.
These people are hooked on some kind of genetic wonder drug called Adam. I've read the word splicer scribbled on walls like a warning. One of them cornered me and Christ, his face. I had a gun, but I choked. And then out of nowhere, we both heard this singing. And he took off like hell on wheels. It sounded like a kid. A little girl. Cindy's alive. I know it in my gut.
So you have to use telekinesis to open up the door there.
I know of your bond with Eleanor Delta. To save yourself, you will come for her. But Eleanor has a destiny, one you cannot share. There is no place for you in paradise.
Okay, so we see some more things, some sort of discussion about some form of bond that we share with Eleanor, alongside, as obviously we get another one from Mark Meltzer, the character that we met in the first episode. He had an audio diary there talking about talking about how he's looking for his daughter, who's been brought down here by Lamb. To be a little sister. So if we go through here, the reason you want to do this is to get another audio diary.
White is not black, Dr. Lamb. Down is not up, and straw is not gold. Look around you. Rapture is no miracle. It is a product of reason. Impossible unless 1 and 1 are 2, and A equates to A.
And yet, alone, each man is a prisoner to bias, dream, delusion, or the pain of a phantom limb. To one man, they are as real as rain. Reality is consensus, and the people are losing faith. Take a walk, Andrew. It is raining in Rapture, and you have simply chosen not to notice.
So we can hear that Lamb and Ryan confronted each other in terms of like in debates, and there are a few of these debate audio diaries located through the game as well. Okay, so we'll just hack this vending machine. Hacking vending machines with the blue one gives you a free item. As you can see, it's not always an item that you need. So there I got a first aid kit, despite not actually needing a first aid kit. So I think that way is the way forwards. So we will head the other way. Down here and just see where this goes.
In ethical psychiatry, we must account for the role of evolution. Depression, fits of panic, sexual pathos, all responses to ancient selection pressure. The irony is that this theory is why Ryan's people invited me here. They mistake my study of natural law for the worship of competition. Remember, Eleanor, one must know the beast before it can be slain.
So obviously, Lamb, well, she sees herself against, she sees herself in opposition to Ryan. There's yet more in terms of what she sort of, her, you know, exactly what she wants to do with, what she wants to do with Rapture.
Head for the elevator.
Okay. So obviously, we can't just wait down here, just to sort of slow this out. seeing as the security should do a pretty decent job of thinning out the numbers of the enemies that we're going to be seeing ahead. But I don't think we've missed anything in this section, which is a famous last story, so I'm gonna hope. The lead heads do really race through your HP if you let them. Okay. Just as I can buy some health packs. That did not go to plan, I think. But that's it's good, important information. It lets us know sort of like the limitations of the security, certainly at this early stage. Because they did not do as good a job as I expected them to in terms of dealing with those splices. Okay. Yeah, we can generally deal with the thuggish splicers relatively easily, but the lead heads in particular are a bit more of a worry. Okay, if we hack this, we'll get a free kit. I didn't actually need to buy because I could have broke that for another one. Which is something that's always good to remember, is that you can break the health stations if you don't think you're going to come back to them in order to gain more health kits. But still, we're nearly there. We're coming to the end of this little chapter in the game. As we see a huge number of splices sort of come down towards us. But as we head up to the platform, we're going to have...
Now, here is what the children tell me. You are a very old Big Daddy, bonded for life to a single little one. When you are apart for too long, your body begins to shut down like a coma. As long as the girl is in the rapture, you are trapped here as well. The name of your little one is Adonis Lamb, daughter of Sofia. She is kept at Fontaine Futuristics on the other side of the city. You must go there and save her before it is too late.
And so there we have the driving impetus for the game. We have we need to go because we can't get out of Rapture without taking Eleanor with us. And at the same time, we obviously are also finding that Eleanor herself is doing her utmost to actually try and help us get to her. So she clearly is not seeing eye to eye with her mother as well. So we're going to pick up some trap rivets, and this is because we're going to get the first of several little, almost like tower defense style sections coming up, where you have to defend a certain area. You'll be swarmed on by splicers, and you have to defend that area using whatever weapons you have. And so we get given a bunch of weapons and a bunch of ammo types, which are all designed around sort of setting traps and setting up so that you can better deal with that coming on.
Dr. Siu Chong's death was a nasty blow to the Protector program, but I'm gradually settling into his role, picking up the slack that his carelessness left behind. We are gaining steam again, but I'm not satisfied. Yes, the Big Daddy defends the girl, but he is programmed only for the fight. Like a sheepdog who wanders off unless a wolf is tearing at his flock. When no aggressor is present, he regards his little sister as he might a common houseplant. We need something more, something stronger, an unbreakable physiological bond.
So there we get our first audio diary from Gil Alexander, who takes the role of Su Chong's work. So in the first game, we heard a lot from Su Chong about like the development of plasmids and this sort of the first uses of Adam. And so in this game, they decide to take a similar sort of thing. They want to hear from the people who were behind the story, behind the scenes, who were doing all of this work with regards to making Rapture what it was. But they, in order to do that, they include Gil instead, who talks a lot about the Big Daddy program and how they eventually got Big Daddies, and why you as as Subject Delta, you are different to the Big Daddies that you see roaming around the area. Anyway, so here we have a bunch of the key sections of the game: Ryan Amusements, Pauper's Drop, Dionysus Park, and Fontaine Futuristics. There are other ones as well. I can't remember how many, maybe 2 more, that sort of are also in between these stations. But this is the main train line that we're taking to try and get to Fontaine Futuristics, where Lamb currently resides with Eleanor.
So as we can see.
Okay, so we've got some trap rivets once more. We'll continue to pick up some money, health, whatever we can. And we'll finally be able to talk with Tenenbaum face to face.
You see? This is why I must fight Sofia Lamb. She is using the new little ones for something. And I have returned to rescue them. If I do not, more children will die for my sins. And the Rapture nightmare, it will repeat forever. Now, we must talk.
Citizens of Rapture, this is Subject Delta. Behind that mask hides an enemy of the people, without soul or sympathy. It is a beast apart, and as family, we must tear out its jaw and drive it back into the sea.
Lamb will take this place apart to find you. Please hold back the splicers until we escape.
So as she says, we've got to hold back the splicers, and part of that is using these trap rivets to help us out. So I do not remember where exactly the enemies come from, but we will trap rivet up around here. Okay, so there's a camera. I need to locate. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of splicers that have just arrived from there. Okay, not bad. Could have
Thank you.
definitely been a lot worse.
Now I must leave you, and I am sorry for this. But there are others I must help before the city drowns. This man Sinclair, he is an ally, and will guide you to Eleanor. Goodbye, Herr Delta. And good luck.
Well, look at you. A bona fide knight in armor, complete with iron horse. The name's Augustus Sinclair Sport, Esquire. Old Tenenbaum and I share an interest in the old Fontaine building, the very same place you'll find Eleanor Lamb. I think you and I can do business. Take the train to Ryan Amusements. I'll see you shortly.
So there was a health station that was broken there. Okay, yeah, so something that I forgot to mention is that we actually got, so we've got 2 trophies this episode, which means we get 2 extra lives. The first one we got for getting our first long-range hack, using the hack dart, and then we also got one just then for protecting Tenenbaum from the splicer attack here in the station. So that puts our lives at 3, which is not too bad. And we are full health, which is always good. Low on Eve, though. Would be nice to get some more Eve hypos.
Sofia Lamb has taken Rapture and is responsible for stealing children from the surface. Her splicers destroyed my submersible and forced me to run. But the ticket booth here is secure, and though I cannot trust him, Sinclair is a valuable ally. I have already rescued a few of the new little ones from Lamb. They all want to know how we will get home. I wish I had the right words for them.
Okay, yeah, so doesn't look like, occasionally they hide like items that you can pick up in the roof to be picked up from telekinesis, but it doesn't look like anything like that around here. In which case, I think we will get a couple of Eve hypos, because they are always useful. And that should be it. As we have yet another healing station as well. So no point really in hacking that because of well, we don't need the health. So in that case, we will finish this episode by going in here and setting off on our little train journey. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you will join me on the next, where we will be starting a new section of the game, the 3rd area of the game, which is Ryan Amusements. So I look forward to seeing you then.